There have been many iconic villains that Nintendo has made, like Bowser being the big bad of the Mario series, Ridley being a bloodthirsty space pirate, or King Dedede making one of the best cartoons out there. But there is one villain that is by far my favorite, and it's Ganondorf from The Legend of Zelda. I really like Ganondorf. He's my favorite villain for a few good reasons. He's really intimidating and powerful, he has great designs, his boss fights are awesome, and his name Ganondorf is simple but a very cool name. Ganondorf. I also have quite a few amiibos of him and a cool poster of his final boss fight in Ocarina of Time. So what started for me to actually appreciate Ganondorf was because of Smash Bros. Ironically. And Smash Bros is how I learned of Ganondorf. My love for Ganondorf happened because of Smash Bros, and it's because of the worst move in the game, that being Warlock Punch. On paper, it is pretty bad. It takes forever to start, and it's only good after you break someone's shield, but does that stop me from enjoying it? Oh, hell no! I love this move. It's really good to land it. Although it is super slow, it causes a lot of damage, and it has super armor. And if you know me, I love me some super armor. Also, this move looks super cool. Ganondorf sounds really menacing during it, and he has a cool purple flame to add to it. So while it is bad, I still love it. Ganondorf is just aura farming with this move. I also really like playing as him.
Why aren't you miserable?
It's so satisfying to land a spike, and he uses a big ass sword for smash attacks. And it came from this demo from Space World, where he and Link battle. This tech demo would later become Wind Waker eventually. And while he is a slower version of Captain Falcon, I still enjoy playing as Ganondorf. I also really dig his design in Ultimate. Basically his design is based off of Ocarina of Time. It's a great design for him, and I like it better than his original Ocarina of Time design, to be honest. But after I decided to main him, I wanted to actually play the Legend of Zelda games and learn more about him. So let's talk about Ganondorf in the Zelda series. So Ganondorf is the human version of the pig monster, Ganon. In this series, Ganondorf is a gerudo. They're a tribe of mostly women that live in the desert, but a male gerudo is born every 100 years, and they usually become the leader. Ganondorf made his first appearance in Ocarina of Time. Basically, he pledges loyalty to the king of Hyrule, but Zelda sees right through him as he wants to get the Triforce to conquer Hyrule. As if he wasn't evil enough, he also put a curse on the Great Deku Tree and thus killed it. He blocked off the Dodongo's cave, cutting off the Goron's food supply, and infected a giant fish called Jabu Jabu with a parasite, all because they wouldn't give him the spiritual stones to enter the sacred realm. And then after the time skip, Ganondorf does some more evil things. For instance, he's gonna feed the Gorons to a dragon, and he completely freezes Zora's domain. While they're still in the water, might I add. So Ganondorf is truly a villain, but compared to other villains, his plan actually works for the most part. He knew what Link and Zelda were doing, and when Link pulls the Master Sword out, he's able to get to the Sacred Realm, and he does a cool laugh. Not to mention, he actually took down the royal family and forced Zelda to flee, while also showing Link he's no match for him. And he turns the castle of Hyrule into a barren wasteland. That is badass. Also, his boss fight is really cool. When Link enters, Ganondorf is literally playing his own theme on the organ, and that is peak. He even makes Navi unable to lock onto him, and he and Link have to play a game of Dead Man's Volley. And oh boy, that's not the best part. After that, he makes the castle they're in fall apart as he's dying, and when Link and Zelda get to the bottom, he then turns into Ganon, and oh my god, he is so menacing. Then Link doesn't have his sword for a bit until the end, and Zelda has to hold him down as Link delivers the final blow. Ouch! Then Ganondorf curses everyone as he's being sealed away. So yeah, Ganondorf in Ocarina of Time is pretty awesome. He had a great debut, and he's really menacing, so of course he's going to be a top tier villain. Then we get to Wind Waker. I will say this, Ocarina of Time really screwed up the Zelda timeline, since Zelda sent Link back in time to get his childhood back after being sealed away for 70 years when he pulled the Master Sword out, and good luck trying to figure out where Breath of the Wild goes. So Wind Waker is where Ganondorf breaks the seal and comes back to destroy Hyrule, while the gods flood the area to try to stop him since Link isn't here. Then the game starts. Ganondorf is kidnapping girls who resemble Princess Zelda and is holed up in his Forsaken Fortress. He's trying to get the Triforce again and even kills 2 sages to diminish the Master Sword's power. But this Ganon is more composed compared to his other versions. Like before his final boss fight, he gives a speech on how devastating it was to live in the desert while Hyrule was actually a nice place to live, and I coveted those wins is my favorite quote of that. He even actually said to Link he won't kill him after beating him up since he just won the Triforce, and he nearly got it. If the King of Hyrule didn't touch it. That was the only reason why Ganondorf failed, was because he did not touch it. And then he proceeds to attack Link. Now this is a pretty awesome boss fight. Ganondorf was pretty tough in this fight, and he's a damn good swordsman. And Zelda stuns him with light arrows to set up Link to attack him, and deal another fatal blow on Ganondorf. Ow! Ganondorf then turns into stone, and is at the bottom of the sea forever. I really like this Ganondorf. He's got a cool design, while it's not my favorite, but it's still a great design though. Then we get to one of my favorite versions of Ganondorf, and it's Twilight Princess. So halfway through the game of Twilight Princess, it's revealed that Ganondorf was actually the one pulling the strings of the story. Sorry Zant fans, I actually like this plot twist. So this all started when Ganondorf was caught early after Link came back in time at the end of Ocarina of Time, and he was going to be executed at the Arbiter's grounds, except it totally fails. Ganondorf is stabbed in the chest, but he has the Triforce of Power and survives. He then breaks his chains, kills one of the sages, and is banished to the Twilight Realm. Oh my god, this is peak and shows how much of a threat he is. Then at the end of the game, Link confronts Ganondorf while he's looking smug and full of himself. Then Ganondorf possesses Zelda, and the final boss begins with another Dead Man's Volley. Then Ganondorf turns into a giant pig, runs around and teleports until Link and Midna throw him over and attack his stab wound a few times. Then my favorite part happens when Midna dons a few shadows to kill Ganondorf and teleports Link and Zelda away, only to be beaten and Ganondorf breaking her helmet. Then Zelda and Link go on horseback and shoot light arrows at Ganondorf and make him fall off his horse. Then we get to the best part, and Link and Ganondorf have a one-on-one sword fight, and this is pretty epic, especially with those chance moments. Then Link deals the final blow, stabbing Ganondorf in the chest and making him scream in pain. I always thought Zelda and Ganon's faces were pretty funny during this part. Then to end it all, Ganondorf stands up, says that History of Light and Dark will be written in blood, Zant snaps his neck, and Ganondorf dies standing up. This final fight with Ganondorf basically cemented him as my favorite villain when I first saw it on YouTube all those years ago, before I had my own Switch. This version of Ganondorf is so menacing, powerful and strong, conceited, and a pure villain. I love this. It really adds to the vibe that Twilight Princess gives. I really like his design too, especially the stuff he wears on his head looks really cool. Then the next version of Ganondorf is in Hyrule Warriors. You know, the series where you defeat 100 enemies with one button. I don't have a lot to say about Ganondorf in this one, except he looks really cool, and he's especially fun to play as, and he feels like a fun boss character. There's not much else I can say, but he's badass. So on to the last Ganondorf, and it's Tears of the Kingdom. Oh my god, when I saw the trailer that revealed Ganondorf, I was screaming for joy. Yeah, bitch! Although it did suck waiting for the game to come out, at least people kept making memes of him, and my god, they did not have to make him sexy. But you won't hear me complaining. This is also the first time Ganondorf actually speaks in the series, since Breath of the Wild brought it back after the horrible CGI games.
I'm so hungry, I could eat an Octorok.
Oh, what?
An Octorok.
Anyways, Ganondorf is voiced by Matthew Mercer. Matthew has voiced a ton of characters like Jotaro Kujo, Trafalgar Law, Leon Kennedy, and Zato 1 to name a few. He did a great job in my opinion, and made Ganondorf really threatening.
You witness a king's revival, and the birth of his new world.
So in Tears of the Kingdom, Link and Zelda find a dehydrated Ganondorf at the bottom of Hyrule Castle, and he starts to wake up and takes Link's right arm, and makes Hyrule Castle float as he falls to the bottom, while Zelda goes back in time and a hand saves Link. Then throughout the game, we learn that Ganondorf tried to take over Hyrule, but he isn't powerful enough because of King Raru's Dragon Tears, so he pledges loyalty to eventually stab them in the back and to harness the power of one. He kills Queen Sonia, makes a funny face, and then he becomes the Demon King. Oh my god, he's way more threatening than he was in Twilight Princess, if you can believe that. Then Rauru, Zelda, and his sages go to fight Ganondorf, but they can't beat him, so Rauru temporarily seals him at the cost of his own life. Then Zelda turns into a dragon by eating a dragon tear to restore the Master Sword, so Link can fight Ganondorf in the present. Then Link is ready to fight Ganondorf after fighting hordes of enemies to get to him. I'm so glad he became hot again, and this boss fight is really good. It's way better than Calamity Ganon, and you actually need some skill to fight Ganondorf. Basically, Ganondorf can wield any weapon Link can, and he has his own katana, and what makes this interesting is Ganondorf can actually dodge attacks like Link can. That's pretty awesome. Then the second phase happened, and oh my god, that health bar is so fucking big. Then Link beats him, and then Ganondorf decides to throw his humanity away and turn it into a dragon. At first, I kind of didn't like the dragon fight because I wanted to fight Ganondorf more, but it's still pretty cool. With the music giving a great vibe, Zelda helping Link get some altitude and let him regain his stamina, and it was satisfying to break the dragon tear on Ganon's head. So it's still pretty awesome. I also really liked in the ending that Link dives down to catch Zelda. That was pretty wholesome. This Ganondorf is awesome. He's pretty hot, Matthew Mercer did a great job voicing him, and his boss fight was really good. My only complaint is, I just wish he did more in the story. It would have been cool to see him at different places, terrorizing the citizens of each city, and instead of staying at the bottom of Hyrule Castle in the depths. But I'll take what I can get. I will say, you can't go wrong with any version of Ganondorf. They're all pretty good. I have a tough time picking which one is my favorite, but honestly, you can't go wrong with any of them. So if you made it to this part of the video, you kind of see the pattern of why I like Ganondorf. It just basically boils down to cool design, awesome boss fights, feels like a villain, and it's just a badass, to be honest. Basically, I have a huge appreciation for Ganondorf. He's obviously my favorite. And I just realized something when I was almost done editing this video, and that was I kind of lied about the intro a little bit with the Smash Bros part, because I just remembered that I first knew of Ganondorf was actually from Your Favorite Martian song, Club Villain. I feel old now remembering that song. Jeez. There are some other villains that I do like. I really like Ridley. He's a fire-breathing space dragon, and in some forms he's a cyborg, and that is really cool to me. And besides video games, there's one villain that I will always remember, and that is Hades from the Hercules movie. I mean, come on, James Woods did an amazing job voicing him. And he has blue fire for hair. Of course I'm gonna love Hades. I will say this, I would love to hear your guys' opinion about Ganondorf down in the comments. It could be about any version of him. I will say, it is hard for me to choose a personal favorite, because they're all so good. So I'm really indecisive about it. But hey, thanks for tuning in for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and you can learn a little bit about my appreciation for Ganondorf. I don't know how people found out about his last name. His full name is Ganondorf Dragmire. That is a weird last name, I will not lie. But hey, thanks for tuning in, guys. I hope you have a nice day, and I will see you later. See ya!